the jury is still out for me on Bernie or bust, because it's going to cause a level of disengagement from this party that has a stranglehold on at least a strong 30% of our population, right? Of the voting population. No, just probably our population, depending on who's voting that year, right? That number fluctuates. But they have a grip on half of the people that are voting. And without sufficient engagement, you're going to repeat this cycle again in 2 years and in 4 years. And if putting all of your lock and stock into the idea of the Green Party is pretty much repeating history. You know, the Green Party has been around for a long time, and I appreciate them. I like what they represent. I like probably 90% of their politics. However, disengaging from this process is exactly what gave people like Debbie Wasserman Schultz the green light to run forward with everything that we've been complaining about right now. And so just throwing your cards on the table and saying, I'm not going to participate, or I'm doing and this is just me. Like, again, I'm not trying to convince you to do anything else, but this is my show, and I'm just expressing how I feel. I feel as though this should increase engagement, that this should make people go to their local precincts and in droves and run out everybody who had anything to do with the 2016 election. Just take over this entire party and just run them all out, because if you realize there's so many opportunities for you to have an impact, but disengaging will repeat this, and in 8 years there'll be a new revolution that falls flat because we disengaged when we should have engaged more. That's just me.
Okay, so there's two problems with your argument here that I take issue.
Hold on there. Okay, you can take issue. There's no problem with my argument, but you feel free to take issue with it. Go ahead.
Okay, so the first point is that a revolution must go through the Democratic Party, and that's the only way you can accomplish it. See, this is a part of accepting somebody's narrative that there are only two parties and you can't do anything to change that. As of right now, you know, you can say what you want about the Green Party, but it is there, it has infrastructure, and guess what? It's on the ballot in most states. It's on the ballot in most states.
Nationwide.
Huh?
When's the last time they got 5% nationwide?
Oh, I won't deny that it's an uphill battle. However, what I was saying is it's there for you as a recourse, because if you just try to take over the Democratic Party, they don't care what you do. They are very, very, very good at squashing rebellion. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, the second part of your argument was that they're gonna use disengagement as an excuse to move further to the right. I
didn't say that.
Okay, as excuse me, they're gonna use disengagement to do whatever it is that Debbie Wasserman Schultz does.
Whatever they want to do, right?
Yeah, but they're gonna use any situation, no matter if the voters are mad at them, if the voters vote for them. Oh, we won. I'm still doing the same thing.
But you missed the key thing that I said. The key thing I said is it's not even about being just a voter. We have to go. This is the number one mistake that everyone makes on both sides who have problems with the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. The problem is you want to just vote and not get involved beyond your voting. If you are not in your precinct, and if you're not on the local level running for positions, not for congressmen or not for any positions like that, I'm talking about local precinct captains, right? If you're not operating on that level, then they have every reason to ignore you, because you're not going to show up to do anything except for vote. And they have every bit of capacity to ignore us until 2 years and 4 years out, and they've proven that. So it's not about voting, and this is what I try to tell people all the time. If all you're going to do is vote, I'm not going to tell you to sit home, but I'm going to tell you that your political revolution is really limited to every 4 years. If that all you're going to do is vote.
Okay, I misunderstood your argument.
Well, I mean, that's the other issue too. Is like when we talk about some of the issues experienced today, like polls not opening on time, limited staffing available, staff that wasn't really sure what was going on. I mean, we need people to volunteer to be poll workers too, right? Like that's such a basic thing. And I know for a lot of people, like we work and stuff, but I mean, is there anyone in your life that you know who would be able to do that? Like, we have to be engaged, not just like revolution and what's this big overarching national thing we need to do. There are like a lot of things that we can do locally that can make days like today go smooth. Like even if you're organizing, like if you have people in your community maybe who are, single working parents, right?
Yep.
Okay, if I gotta go run around do all these things, the last thing I want to go do is, especially in a place that does not have early voting like New York, the last thing I want to do is go and stand in line someplace with long lines and broken machines with my kids.
Yep.
Like, so are people organizing to even if you organize to like babysit for a few of your neighbors for a little bit, right? Or if you go and take, like I saw tweets from people taking like an elderly neighbor and a neighbor in a wheelchair, like, I mean, there are things we can do that's just as simple as that help get out the vote. And I mean, okay, that's only like when we vote, but that type of thing helps you build community, right? Because that's something else we need to do. We need to work on building community and building engagement so that when there are time to be involved and make decisions, people feel comfortable to even speak publicly in front of others. Because some folks don't become involved because they don't really know anyone, or they don't know what's going on, or they're not comfortable. So, I mean, that's a little bit more simplistic and lower on the scale, but it's still, it still matters when it comes time to passing some of these local issues that we need to deal with.